What up? It's Lance. I just spit a little there, and welcome back to another WizVid, man. So today's topic is one that we have seen a lot quite recently on the streams. One of the most common questions that I get when I play Wizard 101 and I stream it for people who are kind of new to the game coming in is, how do you not get bored while playing Wizard 101? And I'll be completely honest with you, kind of start a theme to this video. I do get fucking bored sometimes. I'm gonna be completely honest. This game can be incredibly repetitive. It's kind of the same questing over and over and over again in every world, killing the same enemies with the same spell. So in today's video, I'm gonna kind of talk about how to not make Wizard boring and to kind of expand on the game that you already play over and over and over again. Okay, so let's do it! I'll do this for tip number one, since that we're already here. Back that ass up. Is badges. Badges in this game are something that I recommend that you start farming once you're level 170 if you're a freak for collecting everything in the game. I have a friend who's actually top 100 on this list right here. His name is Donovan. He's number 96 in the world on console for most badges collected, and he will be a virgin forever. But no, there's also like just things like that, kind of things to collect, like side things to do in this game. Wizard 101 console is not as big as like actually Wizard 101 on PC, and some people think that that's a negative, but sometimes it's actually really cool. There's so many players that I've seen like throughout questing over and over again, to the point where we just add each other. You know, it feels like it's kind of like its own community kind of thing. Like, obviously, people who play Wizard on PC is very similar to console because it is the same game at the end of the day, even though console does not get everything that PC has. Hopefully, one day it will, because I fucking love this game. I love playing it. But I don't always have. What the fuck is that? Well, this is a cool part of Wizard 101. Okay, example A. There's shit like this. There's school identity. Like each class has their own unique school questing things. Each one has their own pets to get through questing, and each one, when you get your own spell, I honestly recommend doing the spell quests instead of just getting them and unlocking them when you hit the certain level, because of things like that. You get to actually, when I got Forest Lord and I had to go to Grizzleheim and do the really hard fight and then back to Mushu and see him summon, that shit is really cool, man. So things like that, just to keep you entertained. I recommend not speeding through the game and actually doing the level quests. Now, gear is something that a lot of people make videos about in this game. I have seen a lot of mixed opinions when it comes to farming gear. Some people say that the dungeons are worth doing. Some people say that the armor that you get just questing throughout the world will just outpace it. So there's honestly no point, and it's a waste of time to do dungeons like Waterworks and Olympus and stuff like that to get gear. And I actually completely disagree, because I think that there's a bigger topic that people are not talking about, and that is just the general enjoyment of doing the dungeons. There's only a select few in the game. You have, well, we're going to go over them in a second, but you have these dungeons that are here for each level, like the 30, the 60, and the 100. And I think that a lot of people only talk about is the gear worth getting, and nobody talks about the actual enjoyment you get from doing them. With this game, people kind of just speed through questing to try to get to the highest level the quickest, and honestly, I think that for most players that could kill the enjoyment of the game. If you're not a big fan of grindy MMORPGs, but you like the actual combat and all that of Wizard 101, I think dungeons are a great thing to do. And honestly, these dungeons actually bring out school identity. When I was a life wizard doing Mount Olympus here at level 30, I used Unicorn and actually healed my team while the other hitters did their thing. It's a fun thing to do with randoms. That's a good way to meet people in this game. Seeing that there, like, people are just running around with their friends doing these dungeons, and I think it's honestly part of my favorite thing about this game is these level dungeons. So honestly, I would not recommend listening to everyone saying that they're not worth doing. I think just for the general enjoyment, they're worth it. A point can be made saying that if you've already done them on other characters, you don't have to. That's fine. That makes sense. I don't think I'll be doing them on every character that I play with, depending on if it's needed or not. But honestly, I like them. I think they're a big part of the game, and I definitely recommend doing them. There is also the added aspect of spell weaving. Selenopolis got added not too long ago, so it is relatively fresh. I had never heard of it until I played on my life playthrough and got to this area through Krokotopia. No idea that this was here. And then I got introduced to spell weaving. If you are somebody who doesn't like only being a myth wizard and wants to be two kind of classes, this is exactly what it's here for. You know, as a life wizard, I don't really do too much damage, but I wanted to do a full life playthrough, so I don't use storm spells, but I have the option to weave with storm, and then be able to use storm spells. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like some Avatar shit. It's like you're mastering all the elements, and it's a great way to win in PvP, which is what we are going to talk about next. So, yes, a lot of people talk about how PvP is in a really bad state because of the needed upgrade of spell elements. You know, I say needed. You don't really need to get them, but to compete at the highest level to win, honestly, sometimes you're going to need the upgraded spell elements, and that is a bitch to get. PvP is not in the greatest state right now, but things like Beast Moon are absolutely amazing. I hate the fact that they only release it for the first like week of the month kind of thing. It's a limited time event, but I am someone who just experienced Beast Moon for the first time the start of the month, played with my friends, and it is absolutely amazing. I had two friends who honestly do not like playing this game that much because it's kind of boring to them. We got to level 10 on stream the other day and we played Beast Moon, and they said anytime you want to play this game mode specifically, text me, because they had a great time. They had a lot of fun. I personally think that Beast Moon needs to be a all month thing. They were actually talking about making it their own game, like separate game from Wizard 101. I don't think that's a good idea. I think people will just want to kind of play Wizard 101 and like have the separate game mode. That doesn't really make sense to me to do. But Beastman was really fun, man. That was like one of the greatest game modes I've played on this for a long time. You know, the like specific identity of it, that was great, especially at the point of the game where I was at. I honestly was at a point of the game where I wanted to take a break from this game because it was so repetitive and I was just spamming questing, like forest loading every mob in the game, blading, and I was like, this is so repetitive. And like the enemies were so annoying. Oh my god. Like the amount of times my blades got knocked off, I got stunned. They tower shielded. They like, oh my god. Did I mention that they stunned me? It was annoying as shit. And Beast Moon was a lot of fun to take a break with. So definitely recommend that. And then the other aspects that I wanted to mention was pets and gardening. So let's get into it. So as a life wizard, I decided I really wanted to get into gardening on this account because, you know, it just made the most sense. And I've actually had a lot of fun with it. I am not somebody who spends all my energy trying to get the best pet. I'm very content with the pet that I have. I have like 2 damage perks and 2 defense perks. One of the defense perks is not great because it's only life school resistant. And everyone told me you need to like try again. I honestly don't like spending my energy doing that. I would rather do gardening just because like I don't have that much pet snacks now. But in the future with other wizards, I'm definitely going to be spending like the snacks that I've gotten from gardening to get a good pet. But there is a lot of different seeds and gardening like things in this game. There's so much. My entire backpack is filled with shit. That's like the main thing that you have to discard in later worlds is all of the random seeds that you get. Unfortunately, there is only a select few that are actually worth it. A lot of the other pet snacks that you get from these low level gardening plants are just pet snacks that you're gonna get questing throughout the game. They're really not worth gardening and using energy for. There are a select few: king parsley, evil magma peas, and more importantly, couch potatoes are very very important. Also, key limes for maybe potentially getting keys. It's very rare though. But couch potatoes are the most important one to get. You get those in later worlds. So honestly, you can wait until gardening. You should get the red barn farm though, because it increases your rewards and decreases the time it takes for them to mature. So yeah, definitely save up for that. You'll have plenty of gold for it. It's not that expensive. You find it in the crown shop. But yeah, so Honest takeaway from this video is this game can get very repetitive and to some people very boring. It is very important that you take a break if you're somebody who is not in love with the grinding aspect of it, just so that it doesn't get too repetitive for you. And then if you want to take a break, you could go to a different game, but if you don't want to go to a different game, you still want to keep leveling up that person, take a break, do some dungeons, do some gardening, do some beast moon. There are plenty of other things that you can do that aren't questing, so take a break and have some fun. I'll see you out there.